So recently I sent an email to Avalanche about a month and a half ago that showed my thoughts on what Just Cause 5 should be. And because Avalanche missed my email, I decided to get my thoughts out here in a shitty YouTube video. And FYI, this is not to take a jab at anyone who worked on the Just Cause 4 games. I love the games, or I wouldn't be making this video. But they started to peak at Just Cause 3, which by no means was also a perfect game. So let's just get the ball rolling, and with some new gadgets. And the wingsuit and the hoverboard were both amazing ideas, so naturally I think there should be some new gadgets and weapons to play around with. I've had a few ideas, a kind of upgraded grappler, demonstrated by this absolutely abysmal Photoshop I made. Like a pair of gauntlets which extend to grapple to walls and can extend to clobber enemies as well, which means you could pull off a lot of cool combos, which would make it like a bit like the fighting abilities of Mr. Fantastic or Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece, just stretchy powers. And Rico could also have access to another gadget, which would be a wrist-mounted gun or rocket launcher. And new grappling hook variants would also be needed, grappling hook mods, because in Just Cause 4 they were a really great addition to the game. So you could have a weight mod, so instead of the balloons growing and pulling stuff up, the weights grow and pull stuff down. So you can attach them to helicopters and aircraft and pull them out of the sky. And then there could also be a new mod that would be like a wire covered in spikes, which would be like a garroting wire, so it could puncture car tires and get sucked into aircraft intakes to make them shut down. If you shoot at an enemy, this was a cool idea, it would go through them and hit the enemy behind because it's sharp. Okay. Quick point, this was not as important, but the colour palette of Just Cause 4 was not as good as Just Cause 3. The vibrant colours of Just Cause 3 much more suited the wackiness of the franchise than the grey and boring tones that were in Just Cause 4, so that'd be cool. Explosions are also kind of weak when compared to the Just Cause 3 explosions, because they look more impressive. So in Just Cause 5, they should be even more bigger, louder, and more impressive than before. And the nukes in Just Cause 4 are pathetic. The firepower of these nukes needs to be increased by about 100-fold, because they're fucking nuclear warheads. I mean, need I say more? And then one of my favourite points, multiplayer should finally be included. Instead of modded, it would be a bit like GTA in the way that you could choose story mode or multiplayer mode, and the console commands should be built in, not on mod, and should be easy to use like Minecraft's ones in terms of it automatically fills the bar. The environments of the game need to be given a lot more care, and should ultimately receive some kind of massive overhaul, with wildlife that is not a deer, a llama, or a cow. So stuff like sharks, crocodiles, wildcats, dogs, whales, etc. NPCs should have better AI, so they're not stuck in the age of Hitman, Blood Money, and Grand Theft Auto 5. The mapping and dialogue on the NPCs is just a bit all over the place. They need more voice lines, cleaner animations, and much better environmental awareness, which would make the game just feel a lot better. AI in most games, I know, is pretty shit, even in the best ones, but Just Cause is on another level of them walking into walls and blowing each other up, and there could also be stuff like butterflies and insects, as well as mice and rats, and more birds and fish to make the environment seem much more alive to the player. The weather dynamics, so they were an amazing feature in Just Cause 4, and they should definitely be carried over into the new game. I love playing around with them, because the physics fun you could have with them was incredible. But there should now be a randomness to the appearance instead of confined to a specific location, which was annoying. But you could also have new weather, like randomized rain and snow in other biomes as part of a weather cycle, which will just look nice. I mean, I just want it. And Rico needs to start feeling like an actual vulnerable human being rather than some kind of giant fucking immortal god that can practically like walk away from any situation, getting run over by a car or getting fatal wounds that he can heal from in seconds. He desperately needs a less health or less regeneration, and this would give more risk to the combat and make you actually feel like you're vulnerable. Because of this, you might just want a health bar in the Just Cause game, a health bar. What am I saying? Health bar in the Just Cause games to support this idea instead of the screen just slowly going black and white, which was interesting. And vehicles. So we need a submarine. Avalanche, we need a submarine. You know we need a submarine. Everyone wants it. It's been coveted since day one by the community, and we want a submarine along with an actual underwater environment with fish and shit. And the agency, if you want, in terms of the story, could be ahead of its time and on new technology like hover bikes or hover cars. I would love for a special car that could switch to drive on train tracks. I honestly don't know why, but I saw it in cars once, so. Other vehicles include the Ripsaw EVT, and as well as customizable cars, yachts, Bagger 288, and a combine harvester. And also there should really be regular updates to the game that you don't have to buy, or some that you don't have to buy, because it just keeps the game feeling fresh. And that's all my points. If you made it to the end and your name is not Ollie, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe to keep me motivated. And if you are Ollie, Betty and Bill will come and get you. Again, thank you for watching, and yeah, cheers!